Kia ora and welcome. My name is Mark Treadwell and this is chapter 12 out of the book The Future of Learning. And in chapter 12 what we're looking at here is this transition from the notion of students and teachers to transition teachers to educator learners and for students to learner educators. This is not just fancy footwork that doesn't mean any necessary change. This means in fact that what we want to do is give the learner agency over their learning. If we give them agency over their learning, then it's possible for them to start actually teaching or educating, more correctly, each other. We want to give them opportunity where they take the role of the educator, because the best way to learn anything in life is to have to actually educate someone else. And it's very difficult for us as educators to let go of that front of the room space. And that's very, very natural. And you'll find time really drags when actually the students, now becoming learner educators, when they come to the front and take that space and you're passive, the day goes much slower. But you are allowed to sort of catch up on work and do things while they're educating. You'll be there in the classroom or the space that's allocated towards you and your group of fellow educators. But it's quite different. It's a different psychology around what you're doing. Your job is shifting from being a vector of knowledge to actually driving learning, and driving learning deeper and deeper and deeper by asking really clever, rich, open, fertile, higher thinking, Socratic questions. That is becoming our new emerging role as educators. But as educators, we also need to be learners, because we need to learn how to be better questioners of our learners. How do we do that? How do we frame up the prompts and the processes that drive learning, that allow the learner to be wanting to learn, not because they have to do it, because they want to do it. And giving someone agency is really important. None of us like being told what to do. And the closer the person is to you, the less you like being told by them what to do. And we've all experienced that in the relationships that we have within our families and extended friendships, etc. So we want to take the educator, learner, and develop that relationship. We need to do a lot more learning as educators now about learning. Okay? But we're talking about understanding learning in a much deeper sense and how we can drive that learning deeper. For the learner, in order to become a learner educator, the learner needs a whole raft of new capabilities. And we talked about those briefly in the previous video. They need to be competent. They need to understand the learning process. And so how do we do this? How do we build that capability? So in this chapter we look at changing the frame of education from teachers to educator learners and from students into being learner educators, and how we may achieve that. Thank you very much.